Hi, hello, welcome to Traveling with Dave. I am your host, Dave McGowan, and today we're going to talk about the difference between taking a cruise or spending the same amount of time at an all-inclusive resort. So that's our topic today on Traveling with Dave. I want you to please go in, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, and set it up for notifications. And I also would like you to hit the like button if you can. All of that helps me get more and more people to watch the videos, take a look at the website. I really appreciate it. So here we go with Traveling with Dave. So here we go. What I've done here is I've put together a list of things that happen on either a cruise or 8 days at an all-inclusive resort. Now, the reason I chose 8 days is because when you take a cruise, you should fly in the day before the cruise and stay at a hotel the night before the cruise. It's the best way to do it. You're not stressed. It's easy. You make sure that you get on the ship. Everything works out that way. So here we go, 8-day trip. So on a cruise, you're going to fly to the port. On an all-inclusive resort, you're going to fly to the resort. Now, usually the resort is in a more tropical location, so the flight may be slightly more expensive, but not too bad. At the port, you're going to have a hotel overnight before the cruise, whereas when you go to an all-inclusive, you're just going to check into the resort. When you get on the ship, you're going to wait for a room until at least 1 o'clock. It takes that long for them to make up the rooms after the leaving passengers. On the resort, usually the resort check-in times are around 3, so you're probably going to have to wait till about 3, but you'll be able to check in your luggage before your check-in time. And usually there are changing rooms at the all-inclusive, so you'll be able to go to the beach, you'll be able to do the other things and have some fun before you actually get to check into your room. Now, when you go on a ship, you're going to wait for your luggage to get to your room until late afternoon or early evening. Sometimes it's just before, sometimes it's just after dinner. So you have to anticipate that. You have to carry some extra clothes, something to change into. And you have to make sure that you have all that with you when you get on the ship. At an all-inclusive, your luggage is going to be with you. So when you check into your room, you have all your luggage, you have everything you need. You can unpack one time at either option. On a cruise, you're going to unpack one time for 7 days. On an all-inclusive, you're going to unpack one time for 8 days. The only difference, again, in packing is that you're going to have an overnight bag or something like that with you when you stay at the hotel the night before you get on the cruise. Food is included on the ship. Food is included on the all-inclusive. Specialty restaurants on the ship are at extra cost. Nothing is at extra cost on the all-inclusive resort, typically. Alcohol is extra on a cruise. Alcohol is typically included in an all-inclusive. When you are on a cruise, once you leave port, you wake up in a different port every day, or you're at sea every day, but you're going to have a different location that you end up at every day on that cruise. When you're at a resort, you're going to stay at that resort for 8 days. There are several resorts, for example, in Jamaica, where they tell you that you really shouldn't leave the resort property. If you do, you shouldn't leave unless you're on a tour. You really shouldn't go out by yourself because it's not the safest environment for you. Activities on board the ship are free. So the pools and the loungers and all of that stuff is free. Now, there are things that you would pay for. If you're going to use a cabana, for example, at some of the pools there are cabanas available, but they're for extra money to rent. If you play bingo, you're going to pay for your bingo cards. In a general way, the activities are free. At a all-inclusive resort, the activities are free. But when you get where you're going on a cruise, you have excursions that you can take, and those excursions are always at an extra cost. On an all-inclusive, when you are at your resort, typically everything is paid for. So if you want to use a jet ski, go ahead. If you want to use a sailboat, go ahead and use the sailboat. If you want to do almost anything, it's all part of that resort. Sometimes there are extra fees for parasailing or something like that, but you'll know that when you book that resort. Excursions on a cruise are always at extra cost. There's a casino on board the cruise ship. Most of the all-inclusive resorts don't have casinos, so another difference. And now we come to the most expensive part of that thing, or and now we come to the most important part for most people, and that's cost. Now what I've done is I've priced out a Carnival cruise, and I priced out a basic all-inclusive. So the basic all-inclusive and the Carnival cruise are at about the same level of creature comfort, if you will. They're the same style of vacation. And that being the case, the total cost for the Carnival cruise, it's 7 days. It is, I priced the Carnival Mardi Gras going to the Caribbean out of Port Canaveral, and that cruise is $3,350, $3,350. And that would include the overnight at whatever hotel you're going to stay at. It would include transportation to and from the ship, from the airport. That's included in that price. It does not include the cost of airfare because I don't know where you're flying from, so I can't include airfare. On the all-inclusive, I did not include transfers to and from the airport. Many of the all-inclusives have that built into their rate. But we would handle that on an individual basis. But the all-inclusive, interestingly enough, comes in at $2,541 for 8 days. Pretty good deal. So this is an all-inclusive in Cancun, and it is a basic family-friendly resort. And I do have some outstanding deals on that resort at this time. So if you're interested in doing an all-inclusive, or if you're interested in doing a cruise, I can handle either one. There are certain things that I would say to you, and that is that no matter which way you go, you always want to have trip insurance, travel insurance. The travel insurance on both of these is going to be about $100 a person. It covers you in case anything goes wrong. It covers you for COVID problems. It covers you for transportation if you're sick. So that travel insurance is important. I also have travel insurance that's an annual travel insurance policy available for you, and we can talk about that if you travel more than 1 or 2 times a year. The final thing is we can handle your airfare, and with the airfare, these resorts, the all-inclusive resorts, have preferred carriers, and they will fly you from home to the resort, and they'll take care of you if anything goes wrong on that flight. They'll provide you with hotels, they'll provide you with care, they'll get you taken care of so that you get to the resort in one piece. The cruise lines also offer included airfare, and if you use their airfare, then they guarantee that you're going to make the ship. They guarantee that your trip is going to operate the right way, and they will pay for any expenses that you incur because of something going wrong on your flight. So that's another thing to talk about. Now, as always, I recommend that you deal with a travel agent. I'm a travel agent. You don't have to use me. You can use any travel agent you want, but if you'd like to use me, go to my website, travelingwithdave.com, and you'll be able to send me a message, tell me what you're interested in. I'd be happy to help you find the vacation that you want. Once again, I'm going to ask you to please hit the subscribe button and the bell, put on notifications, and hit the like button on this. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's been informative for you. So until next time, I'll see you on vacation.